All right, everybody, we're going to roll on to Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. You know I love a good Tuesday. This post is from Adam, one of our med students. He's our third or fourth year now. I lose track. He's wrapping up his med student days. I can tell you that. He's getting a chance to work with some very well-known physicians that we all have come to love in the community. And he wanted to shift gears just a little bit because you're going to get a lot of education in the month of September. I promise you, a ton of information. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But while we know the heart is important for pumping healthy blood to the rest of the body, it's sometimes forgotten that the heart needs blood too in order to function. And the coronary arteries are actually the main blood vessels that feed oxygen rich blood to the heart itself. So we know that the aorta feeds that oxygen rich blood to the entire body, but it's the coronary arteries that do the hard work in getting that blood returned to the heart. And here they are. Let's take a picture. We've talked about these before. This is your aorta right here with your branches coming off the top. Big sucker, big vessel. You've got a right coronary artery right here, and it looks like there's a right marginal artery here. You have your left coronary artery. These all look like they come off right up from about the root area of the aorta. And there's a bunch of other arteries here, but that's not what's in the post for today. But you were really specifically talking about the left coronary, and then there's some branches that come off of that in the right artery, okay? The two main coronary arteries come off of the aortic root. Look, I didn't even read ahead. Oh my gosh, I get an A+. And they split into opposite directions. Let's talk about that a little bit. So the first is the right coronary artery, which actually supplies the right side of the heart. And in many people, it gives off many small branches, including the SA nodal artery, which helps feed the electrical system of the heart, and the posterior descending artery in most people, which travels on the posterior or back side of the heart muscle. And let's take a look at that here. Look at that. Again, aorta, right coronary artery. Love these graphics he shows us. The second major artery, the left main coronary artery, comes off of the left side of the aortic root, and it actually splits into two large arteries, the left anterior descending artery and the left circumflex artery, or LCX. Much easier words this week's post. The LCX actually loops around the left lateral side of the heart, giving off several smaller obtuse marginal branches. And in some people, the LCX is the one that gives off the posterior descending artery instead of the RCA. Very technical, I know, but here it is. Left circumflex branch, all these other arteries that wrap around the heart, and that's giving all of that blood into the heart. It's amazing. I think it's just amazing. Okay, so the left anterior descending artery, the LAD. So this is a crucial artery, and it's the main supplier of the left ventricle of the heart, which is the one that directly pumps oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. It extends all the way down to the apex, or the most distal part of the heart muscle, and it is the most common artery that is blocked. So when you hear about someone having a heart attack, it's most likely going to be the LAD. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but most likely will be. And the main branches that come off of the LAD include the septal perforated branches and the diagonal D1, D2, so forth and so on branches. A lot of times I also think that the LAD is what's considered that widow maker when that is blocked. People have heard of that as well. It's worth noting that when you're being evaluated for any kind of cardiac surgery, including aortic surgery, that your heart team might actually request a cardiac catheterization. And this is to look at those coronary arteries and to look at the coronary anatomy. And it's because you could have coronary blockages in your heart that actually they can address in addition to your original problem at the time of surgery. It's kind of like a twofer. Why would you go in for aortic surgery and only in that moment they find out you have a problem, and now it's not it's not a guarantee that they've got all the equipment they need to address it. But if they know it ahead of time, they could possibly prepare to fix various other issues that you might have in addition to the aortic surgery or whatever other main surgery you're having. And a cardiac catheterization. So this is like a special type of imaging that uses contrast dye. So for those of you that are allergic, you will need to be pre-medicated. Okay, it is, I believe, the same type of dye used in a CT. And they use this to actually evaluate what's inside your blood vessels, and to kind of get a chance to see what they look like. So in this case, it would be the coronary arteries. So here's the angiogram, and it's depicting the right coronary artery, and this is depicting the left, and that is with that contrast dye that's been added. That's what it's going to look like when you are doing a cardiac catheterization. So it's very different than when you see it on a CT scan. This is all lit up now. That's kind of all we had for last week. And, Adam hopes that you found this brief overview of coronary anatomy helpful. And he is really working very hard for you in creating this next month, which we're in right now, September's month. And it is full of such amazing, wonderful information. I just get very excited about September. We work very hard here at Aortic Hope to provide you with some really incredible information. And it's because we always want you to be thinking about your aorta. That's your topic Tuesday.